Alright guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman YouTube channel, and we're finally back at the Hunter Collective. We've got Abinay in the chair today. How are you, bud?
I'm good, thanks.
You alright? Yeah?
How about you?
Alright, not bad. I mean, what does everyone reckon of my new look? Yeah, I know, yeah, I'm thinking the same. So, tell me what we're doing today.
Yeah, so I'm basically looking to take out all the bulk in the back. It's getting a bit too long now.
Okay.
I want to keep the sides slicked back.
Would you wear it like a pomade in it to slick it back, or would you want something that's going to try and naturally grow backwards?
I think naturally.
Okay, so cut it in a way that it falls to the back, yeah. Okay, cool, yeah. Yeah, you've got very good hair though, mate. Really good hair. I mean, you've got that kind of, it's super thick. It's got a little bit of wave in there. So you got that little bit of bulk at the back, but this, again, I mean, just looking straight on. I mean, I don't know, I'm just going to take it into the camera a sec, haven't I? I mean, I'm sure everyone can agree on this. It looks really cool. You can see how good this hair is. The natural movement, the way it falls. Obviously, he's got all this at the back here, but what do you want to do with the back? What are you thinking down the bottom? That's like the problem area, isn't it? Yeah. Because all this, I mean, if you take away the back, all that looks nice, the way it falls and stuff. Obviously, you could do with a bit of texture and stuff, but would you want it, what about if we like tapered the neck?
Yeah.
And took it like really tight towards the bottom, but still had that kind of coming back through the sides. Had a little bit of a twist to it, you know, you still got that kind of slick back through here, but it works right into a nice taper.
Yeah,
I think that'd be good.
Get my neck visible again.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think especially on the sides here, if we still keep this coming back, if we tied the sideburns up maybe into the length of the beard, see that really sharp crispness through here, you know, so it adds that kind of real detail to it. The taper on the neck, and that'd be a wicked look, it really would. Yeah. I think leaving as much length in it as possible would be great. Okay. It really would work, because we can put the razor through it to really make that kind of movement texture through it as well. Cool, all right, let's give it a shampoo and condition, and then we'll start it.
Okay, cheers.
Right guys, so I've just shampooed and conditioned Abinay's hair. So I'm going to start by getting my horseshoe section in. So I'm going to start on the right hand side. I'm just looking at exactly how the hair falls, okay? Falls really nicely. See that nice little bit of wave, especially when you just accentuate it with your fingers, just like that. Imagine working maybe like a cream or a paste through this, accentuating that little bit of movement, then really cutting it right in. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start on the right hand side. Also keeping a bit of length in it. I'm going to make it a little bit wider, just so we've got a little bit of longer hair through there to help the hair push back. I want to leave about maybe, what's that, about 1.5 inches, close to 2 inches. I want to leave that, but it's still taking a fair bit off. Pull it into the middle. I've got my guide there, and I use that. Pull that through, keep it nice and straight. I'm still keeping that coming back, see that's sitting nice. And back from the previous guide. Nice and straight. Now it didn't look like we took a lot off on the sides. But if you look now how much we're taking off, that's why you always got to try and think ahead. So not taking too much off when you wanted, like say, 1 inch. If we got to the back, it'd probably still leave quite a lot of length. That's why we use it for the sides. The sides are always the difficult ones to push back. The back's a lot thicker, a lot more movement, a bigger area. You can get away with doing a few more things on the back. The sides can be the hard part to make work. So that's why you always got to try and start with the sides, use that as the guide, then work it into the back. Now, as we get down to the nape, so just below the ear, we're not going to have a guide from this side here, because obviously, as you can see, the nape's always a bit lower down. So use the guide from the top, okay? Now we're not having to worry too much, because we're going to remove a lot of the length down the bottom. Just to remove the bulk. There we go. You start to see that shape already setting in nicely as well. Please comment as well in the comment section what everyone reckons of my new look. This is not a fashion statement. So once I've cut this section, I'm going to start doing my cross checking now. I'm going to start checking that I'm following the right guide. Pull that out. There we go. That's matching. Pull it out. It's matching. As you can see, we're staying consistent with this length. So I know it's all going to be even when we work through. The guide again. What we're doing here is we're building our primary shape. This is just building in the haircut. And we're not looking to add the texture right now. It will start to create texture by doing this technique. But again, this is just our primary shape. The secondary shape, which is the razor and the point cut and things like that, that will come after you've cut the haircut in, okay? Still following that same guide. Using my guide again, there we go. Pull it into the middle again, as you see. Wider section now. It's going to sit nicely back through there as well. So a little bit of product to force that a bit stronger. That'd be lovely. Now I'm going to taper the neck in now, okay? So I'm going to do this scissor over comb. So I'm going to switch up my scissors. And I'm going to start to taper it just underneath the occiput of the bone here. So you put your finger down, you can start to see where the kinks out. That's where I want to start my taper from, okay? Scissor in, lift it up, and cut. Now you can see the angle of my teeth, and also his head leaning forward. It's going to preserve length and layer it on top of itself. Section's really, really tight. Using a guide from the right hand side now. Freehand. And we'll sharpen that up in a minute. Okay, but we want to still keep this hair coming back. And so really have that contrast of sharpness and the movement through the back. So it's a relatively sort of slick back kind of style. Scissor, following the natural hairline. Just cutting that in. Little guy from the other side. There we go. Rather to sit around. Middle of the ear again. There we go. We'll start to sharpen off through this point here like that. Tapering the hairline a bit. Sharpen that off. I'm not going to take it so it's really short so it starts to look like you can see some exposure or any scalp exposure. So, detail on this hairline a bit. I'm just going to blend that down into his beard. Just a bit of freehand clipper over comb. Again, we're just having that nicer, cleaner finish on the bottom. Start my detailing now. Just to sharpen off that edge. Start to use that slick back. Just capping off so you get that nice contrast of sharpness. Now we'll do a work on the top now. So that's the primary shape put in. We can texturize it when we've done the top. So you want to wear it kind of coming back, and you want to wear it coming back as well, don't you? Yeah. See, I think what you could do, I reckon you can get away with taking off about that much because you've still got a lot of length to play with, and I think you want that volume and everything going through it. It's too long and because it's so thick, heavy. Gravity will just do it. Will take hold and just lie flat. So that's a lot of length for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna club cut this again. Gonna work my fingers on an angle and connect to the bottom to here. So we're still maintaining some length where the drops. So we've still got a little bit of length through the crown as well. So we're still working. You get that dried off. It'll still create a nice dip towards the neckline as well. Show off that nice taper through the bottom. Use the guide on the left hand side. I want to maintain some length under here, so I'm going to take a section as well. But I want to drop this down a bit to keep a little bit of length through that corner. So we've got a little bit to play with as well towards the round of the head. So I'm going to drop this down a little bit, and nice and straight. Got my guide underneath and a guide from the left hand side. So essentially you're creating a slight undercut, but as you push it all the way back, you maintain some length through that corner as well. Just to maintain a bit more length through the front, as well as you can see. Make sure you pull it down to the same height. Not much to come through, but we'll just go over it anyway. So we've got a guide through there, underneath. So the guide drops down, like that. And that's what we're doing, still maintaining a lot of length at top, so it's still falling nice as well. Make it up, my guide, nice and straight. Using the guide from the left and the guide from behind as well. There we go. Bring it in from the middle as well, to make sure you're getting guide behind and guide underneath. Cut that through and just take one section from closest to me forwards to make sure get every little bit of hair through there. Still maintaining some length through there as well, so you can still see some shape as well. It's for the round of the head. And take one just above the round of the head as well. It's still starting to sit back really nicely as well. Pull that out, same again. Straight down. Just off centre. Now once will come off, but we still would do it just to, again, I don't know, be perfectionist I suppose, but now we should have a point in the middle. So when I pull this fringe down, we should have it come into a point. There we go, there's our point. You can see it, comes in like that. So we can take this fringe, we just want to maintain a point in there just so we've got that little bit more length. I want to take off a little bit. I think that fringe is lovely, having that lift and movement in there. Just connect to that side and down. Put that little bit in there as well. And that's it. Now that's our primary shape cutting, okay? What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna work secondary shape into this now, so the razor, to really add a lot of that movement that Abinay wants, all right? I'm gonna take a section just from the front of the crown and just slide through. That does move around a lot. But as you see, we're maintaining a lot of the overall length. Pull it over and slide from just above halfway. As you can see, that will help the top move around. There's loads of short, long, short, long, short, long, and slide through. I don't want that hair to fall on his face too much. And just switching up the way we do it. We'll switch up the way he moves it, switch up the texture as well. Bring out different looks, different styles for him. Take a section as well. Just working through that length we maintain through the sides as well, just to break that up so that's sit a bit easier as well. Now just with over the comb, I'm just going to slide it through like that. Just going to work it over the comb just to thin out the bottom a little bit. So it just allows it to move nice and freely. This, going back the way we want it to go. Razor over comb. Just using literally the sort of two teeth of the razor. Just using like a pen. Just moving it in different directions. Over the comb. Remove a little bit of bulk. And then just using it into the hair as well, just to really break up that thickness around the bottom there. Well, that moves over that way, back. Very easy to style. So a little bit of salt spray in there first. And brush the salt spray in. Use a round brush for this as well. Bring it down first. Bring it right down. Try from the roots to get a bit of height, like so. And use my fingers to dry that. Try the roots. But it's definitely something that is achievable. I've watched clients do it, so I'm not making it too sort of perfectly blow dried, but so there's still shape and it's really highlighting what we've done. And like I said, if you want to get practicing with this brush, the way I do it, I know it sounds a bit mad, but just imagine you're revving a motorbike. You just basically put the brush in, turn it, pull it up, brush in, turn it, pull it up. Rev, pull it. Okay? That's how I get people to try and do it at home. Just imagine you're revving a motorbike. High speed as well now. And if you're using that nozzle, lift that right up. Get height in there as well, lifting it with my fingers, really blasting this hair through. Now I'm going to switch it to cold now, just cool the hair down, set that style, take away any frizz. There we go. Now just at the back, now it's dried off, I'm just going to point cut in to this bit here where it's still a bit thick. So head down for me. Picking bits out. How's the length looking for you, mate?
Yeah, it's looking great.
Yeah? Happy with that, yeah? Cool. To style this, I'm going to use some paste. I think when you look at the colour of the hair, that should dictate what product you use as well. So if I was to use a clay in this, it would just get thick and clumpy and it would just look too naturally messy, as though he's just kind of got up out of bed and it looks like that. So I think when you're using something on dark hair, you want to have a little bit of natural shine or low shine to it. Bit of paste in this. So what I'm going to do, start the front, through my fingers, and just work it through like that, okay? Through and just using it, just working my fingers through like this, as it coats all the hair, especially from the inside of my fingers. And away through the sides, and as you can see, you can really slick these sides back, and they're not kicking out at all. Bring out that texture and messiness to it as well. Work it through into that interior of the hair as well. You see you've got all that lovely shape. Still sitting nice. You've got that really nice side profile. And also when you see at the end shot in a second, you've got that really nice square finish as well. What do you think of the finish?
Yeah, I love it, Dan. Yeah.
Pretty easy though. Just literally run your fingers through your hair, pick out bits that you like.
You've gone against the grain of the hair this.
Yes, I've gone against the other way. So if you wear it the way it wants to fall, it'll collapse. If you wear it against the way it wants to fall, you're sort of pushing it against the way it naturally wants to fall. So it just gives you that little bit more height, a bit more like a wave. Yeah. So to recap, we had a few elements that we wanted to pick on this. So Again, we wanted a little bit of length on the sides to be able to slick back. Wanted a taper of the neck. Wanted it messy on the top, brushing back, moving over different sides. So quite a challenge, quite a personal, bespoke haircut really for Abinay. So we can make it work. Obviously, we come to that agreement. We get to that length that we like. We work through it together as well. We pick the length on the top together. And the good thing is he listened to some suggestions that I had as well. We want this style. Do you know what? This is a style that doesn't have a name. Okay, it's the Abinay. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. It is just a bespoke haircut for the client. You know, it's me using a little bit of my kind of, knowledge on what I think will work, knowing, seeing hair like this for years and knowing that if I take it too short, it'll kick out, but then there's finer texture to it, so we need to strengthen that up, and there's bits that are a little bit thicker, so we need to work on that. So again, it's a hard one really, but essentially what we did was we left the sides a bit longer, tapered the neck, and then just maintained a lot of length to the top and connected it and texturized it. But there is no real name, unfortunately. Just the Abinay. Good little tip that I obviously told him was, if you want to get height in the fringe, normally he'd wear it from left to right, but I switched it up and went from right to left, and what you get that more wave effect, so you get that little bit of volume coming through there, just naturally, just because you're going against the way the hair wants to grow. And that is it, really. Happy?
Yeah, very happy.
Good, so am I. Thank you very much, man.